Have you ever felt like you're just running in a race you didn't even sign up for? You know the feeling. No matter what you do, what you achieve, there's always something else just around the corner. It's that constant hum of burnout in the background. Well, today we're going to put a name to that feeling and really get to the bottom of what's going on.
You know how it starts. It's pretty innocent. A new phone comes out, and suddenly the one that was perfectly fine in your pocket yesterday feels a little bit dated, a little bit slow, and that little itch begins.
Then you're scrolling and you see a colleague got a promotion or a friend landed that amazing new job, and boom, that little sting of comparison hits. That feeling that you're somehow falling behind in a race nobody ever actually announced.
And of course, there's the endless scroll, right? Past the perfect vacations, the picture-perfect careers, the flawless-looking families, and that sense of contentment you had just a minute ago, it just vanishes. Suddenly, what you have doesn't just feel like not enough, it feels like nothing.
So it all leads to this one huge question. In a time where we have more than any generation before us, why do so many of us feel this deep, nagging sense of not enough? What is this hunger that never seems to get full?
Well, believe it or not, this feeling has a name. It's a classical spiritual concept called love of the world. And it's about way more than just, liking nice things. So let's break down what this actually means. The term for it is Ḥubb al-Dunyā. And the great Islamic scholar Imam al-Ghazali, writing almost 1,000 years ago, called this the root of all spiritual problems. Now here's the twist. The problem isn't the world itself. The things in it are inherently bad. The disease, the issue, starts when our relationship to those things gets completely flipped upside down. It's when we start serving the very things that were created to serve us. And this is a really, really crucial distinction to make. So let's put these two side by side. On one hand, there's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying life's gifts, but it becomes a problem when those very gifts start owning you. It's the difference between having comfort and success and your inner peace being held hostage, completely dependent on what you can buy or achieve next. Imam al-Ghazali just hit the nail on the head with this one. He said, the problem isn't that we live in the world. It's that the world starts living in us. Think about that. It's not about becoming a hermit and running away from everything. It's about an internal state. What happens when the anxieties, the ambitions, the values of the material world completely take over our inner world? So, okay, why is this mindset so bad for us? Why does it leave us feeling so hollow? Well, it's because it traps us in a cycle that, by its very design, can never, ever make us feel whole. Let's take a look at this cycle. This is the hamster wheel. First, you get the thing you were chasing. The new car, the promotion, the social media validation. And you get a little high from it, right? A moment of, I did it. But it fades. And honestly, it fades faster every single time. And before you can even catch your breath, a new desire pops up on the horizon, and the chase starts all over again. It's a treadmill that's built to speed up, not to stop. And here is the fundamental mistake we make. We think that an abundance of things will magically create an abundance of peace. But our souls, our inner selves, they don't run on stuff. They run on meaning, on connection, on purpose. And when we're just chasing things that can break or rust or be forgotten, we start to feel like we're breaking and fading too. Okay, so that all might sound a little bit abstract. Let's bring it down to earth. How can you actually spot this mindset taking root in your own life? It's time for a little honest self-reflection. So, first question to ask yourself, how do you react when you lose something? I mean, if you break your phone or lose something you value, is your reaction just disappointment, or does it spiral into real anxiety, real distress? That reaction can be a big red flag for attachment. All right, next up, where do you get your sense of self-worth from? Is it tied up in your job title, your salary, the car you drive, your looks? If all of that stuff was taken away tomorrow, would you feel like a core part of you was gone? And finally, and this one's a tough one, but we gotta be honest with ourselves. When you see someone who seems to be ahead of you in life, whatever that means, what's your gut reaction? Is it good for them? Or is there that little twist of jealousy, of inadequacy? That comparison game is a major symptom of this whole thing. So here's the real kicker. This isn't about being rich or poor, not at all. You can have very little and still be totally consumed by wanting more. And you can have a lot, but hold it all very lightly. It's an internal condition. It's about what your heart is truly attached to. That's the whole game. Okay, so if some of that felt a little familiar,
what do we do? What's the way out? Well, the good news is this is an ancient problem, which means there's ancient wisdom to solve it. So let's look at Imam al-Ghazali's remedy, which is surprisingly relevant for our crazy modern lives.
So what's the cure? It really starts with a shift in focus. First, you have to actively, consciously remember what actually lasts. It's not the phone, it's not the job, it's your actions, your character, the love you put out into the world. Just focusing on that starts to quiet all the other noise. Next, practice moderation. The goal is to use the world for your needs, not to be used by the world's demands. A super powerful way to do this, practice detachment by actually giving things away. It sends a message to your own heart that you are in charge, not your stuff. And this one is huge. Spend time in stillness. Get away from the notifications, the scrolling, the noise, and just listen and figure out what you're really hungry for. And then you fill that hunger with meaning, not more things.
Here's a little tool you can carry around in your pocket. Before you make a big purchase, before you chase that next goal, before you even post something online for likes, just stop and ask yourself this one simple question. Will this bring me real meaning, or is it just for a quick, momentary buzz? That one question can change everything. And this all leads to this incredibly beautiful and powerful metaphor to hold on to. This world is like a shadow. Just let that sink in for a second. If you run after your own shadow, what happens? You can never catch it. The faster you run, the faster it runs away. But what happens when you turn your back on the shadow and walk towards the light, towards your real destination? The shadow just follows you, effortlessly. And that's really the final takeaway here. Stop chasing the shadow. The world is always going to be there, tempting you with more, but it has no power over a heart that knows what it's truly here for. It's time to stop chasing, and it's time to start living.